You
you
know
know?
what it is nowadays, right? People just want to train a couple months, just get on the stage. They
Yeah,
want a shortcut.
right. Well, they want
Yeah.
the photos for their Instagram and,
Right, right.
you know, I did the show, I did the prep,
Yeah,
follow me on this journey. And yeah, it's like a
yeah,
thing now, I
yeah,
think, for sure.
yeah. Everything's shortcut. Yeah,
Yeah, it's content. I know it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Crazy how many people now that I know that have like competed. They did like one show or maybe two shows, kind of in the same time. And then I'm like, oh, you're ever gonna compete? And they're like, oh no, that was just the thing. And I was like, oh, okay, like wow, like weird. It's
Dif
weird to me. I'm like, wow,
different,
you just did it just
different.
because it was a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Bucket list.
Yeah,
It
like
is. Yeah,
I don't know. That's like me entering like a bowling tournament or something. Like I'm gonna go enter a bowling tournament,
that's why.
practice and go bowling. Like I don't know, it's
That's
weird.
why it won't last. You know, people, those people won't last.
Right. Well, and usually a lot of those people, you talk to them and they're not even working out anymore.
Yeah.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Paradise Pump. And today we do have a special guest. His name is Caleb's son.
Thank you.
Welcome. He's
Thank you
been,
for having me over here.
yeah, man. He's been a member of the gym for years. And I've been talking to him about getting on this podcast. Busy guy. So he's able to make it today. And so
Well,
people want to know your background.
since Mark didn't do a good intro on Caleb here, if you guys don't know, Caleb
I
is
wasn't done yet, Mel.
He's
Jeez, she loves the intros.
bro's a
She likes to take over
liar.
the intros. Go ahead, go
Bro
ahead, go
doesn't
ahead.
do his homework
Go
on the
ahead. I know
intros.
what Caleb is. I know.
Okay.
But
I
Caleb
know.
is one of the NPC judges here in Hawaii. He also is a nationals judge and IFBB pro judge with the federation. Also, too, you did at a time have your own shows, right, in China?
Yes.
Yes, so he as well does that. So he's a very diverse man on top of being a former competitor himself as well too. So if you guys do have a lot of questions in regards to judging, formalities and um criteria, you can approach this guy right here, Caleb, when you see him in the gym. He works
Yep.
out here
Yep.
avidly in the mornings
Yes.
primarily, huh?
In the morning. Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah,
coming on the show.
Thank
yeah.
you,
I,
guys.
I never
You
knew
guys.
that you were a judge.
Oh yeah.
Nah, just kidding. No, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I remember my first. No, not first show. Judging over here was 2000.
Closer?
Yeah.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
first show judge over here 2010, 11 Paradise Cup.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
first
wow.
show.
Yeah, that's when I first started the gym. Was 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Cindy was head judge that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember. Actually, I think I competed in that show.
Oh.
It was the first one that I did, the Paradise Cup. Was it the 20 it was it 2011 or 2012? Might have been 12. I'm not sure, but it was one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's been a while.
oh, that's
It's
cool,
been a while.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's been
yeah.
a while.
And you're still hitting it. When was the last time you actually competed?
Um, 17 or 18. Forgot.
Okay.
It was U.S. Nationals,
Okay.
Pittsburgh U.S. Nationals, two show. Yeah, two show in a row.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. Nationals. I was in the same weight class as Derek Lansford.
Oh
He won
yeah.
my class and he won, got overall, got a
Right.
pro card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now we know where
yeah.
he's at now.
He's way.
Oh yeah,
To
yeah,
say you
he's
stepped on
killing it.
stage with him though, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, Derek
We are about same
Lunsford.
age. Yeah,
I think he was a light heavy back then,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Crazy, man.
Even ever since, well, gone a different route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with your judging, I mean, what got you into, becoming a judge and all that? Like, what was the reason for that?
Uh, because I was born and raised in China. I already started judging in China that time. After move here, I think talked to Cindy a couple of times, and then she invited me. She asked if you want to be a test judge.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I started. Yeah, one test judge, and then I got jump on board. Yeah.
Mm,
So
that's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, man. Been doing it ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've done some IFBB shows in the mainland too, besides here in Hawaii, right?
Judging,
Yeah,
yeah.
judging.
Judging, yeah.
Judging, right.
Um, Olympia amateur in Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
and then all the other international Kurdistan 2 times in Iraq
Okay. Oh, really?
and
Oh, wow.
India,
That's cool.
Japan, yeah, China.
So,
Where,
so do they pay for you to go out there? They like
yeah,
fly you out
usually
and stuff?
promoter, yeah, cover your flight, hotel, and then some judging fee
That's
based
not
on
bad.
the pro league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, you get like a free trip out of it.
yeah, it's fun. Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
judging in Middle East is kind of risky too.
Yeah, I was
People,
gonna say
people,
it's a
they
little
they got they
different.
got temper over there.
It's a little different, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, when they don't,
they're not
if they
happy.
don't
They
like it.
stand on stage. They're putting you like
Oh,
doing
wow.
that. Yeah, and then
Really? I
they
think you
like
told me a story about one of
break
the guys.
break stuff in the backstage. Like I can hear like loud.
Don't mess around, huh?
Yeah, it's fun though.
It's fun, but it's dangerous. You gotta watch out when you go back to
Yeah,
your hotel.
yeah, yeah,
That's wild.
yeah.
Yeah, and you guys have judged together, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
many times. Yeah,
many
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we can have John start taking over more of the expediting so I can get back on the judges table.
Okay.
Yeah.
John's good.
Yeah, John's
You
been
train
doing
him
such
well.
an excellent job. He's still a little shy. He's very soft spoken and shy. So, John Young, you're,
Yeah,
you're the next
he's
man.
doing. Yeah, I think so. He's doing good. I mean, on the show, he's very talkative.
Yeah,
So,
but he
Mm,
is. He's like super like you.
yeah,
You're soft spoken,
yeah.
and as far as exerting yourself out there and energy, takes a lot to expedite. But back to the whole subject with you judging. Um, I know you've been in the industry for a long time, seen so many different things as well too. As far as judging from an NPC level to pros, what is the formalities in order for you to become a IFBB judge?
mm. Yeah. I guess the year I started promoting the pro qualifiers in China, and I kind of emailed the league office if we can. I don't know what's the protocol or what's the process to in turn to get a pro judge status. So they said you gotta take the national, you gotta test judging on the national shows.
Mm.
So I got invited to a USA national test judging.
Yeah, and that's where
Yeah.
you judged me while I was on
Oh, you were that.
stage.
I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember
I
that.
saw you and Kill. I was like, oh, familiar faces. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when you were test judging at
Yeah.
USA's. Okay,
I
continue.
remember Sandy was the head judge.
Mm.
So and she did score me. I think I got 90 something points.
Oh
I
wow.
passed. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's officially got a, yeah.
The reason why I asked as well too, because when I saw you guys and you guys were test judging, I mean, there's the normal panel of judges and you guys have your scoring.
Yeah.
At nationals, there's like especially the bikini classes,
Oh yeah.
there's a bunch of
Yeah.
girls and
Yeah.
they go so fast. So how do you know what you're looking for at that point
Well,
when you're
actually, um, I don't know. I love saying this, but Sandy told us, she like do first call
yeah,
out, right? 6 or 7. So we just got a
hmm
score from those six or
yeah,
seven.
absolutely.
So it make much easier for
Yeah,
us,
Mm.
out of like 30 or 40
yeah.
competitors. So and then our score, she gonna correct look at our score based on the real result. So
hmm
yeah,
And it's
Mm.
usually is it one test test judging that you guys do for nationals and it's a pass or fail?
yeah.
Okay.
And then you can always ask to go back again.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
Interesting. So, being a judge, I mean, I'm sure you've you've ran into this before, like competitors when they're not happy with their placing, maybe they've talked to you after the show, right?
yeah.
And do you get this a lot sometimes? Like some competitors think like maybe there was some favoritism
Mm,
somewhere, like oh that person was favored or they chose that person because of
you're right. I
politics. I mean, do you get that
I
sometimes? And
get sometime, but more often I get people come to me. They just ask them for themselves.
hmm
What's the
hmm
reason they got this placement?
yeah,
Yeah. So um, well, as we do, just give a feedback.
yeah,
Based on the lineup. Every time you
right.
come on stage. different lineup, right?
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's what
that
I think don't
yeah
think people understand.
yeah.
It's the lineup, right?
Another day, you just need to get better themselves. Yeah. So
Yeah, because yeah, I think that's one thing, right? Being a judge,
hmm
like dealing with, you're always gonna find somebody that's not happy, right, with their placing, right? Or they think they deserve better, and maybe they're upset,
yeah
maybe they have an issue with
yeah,
how was
understand. Yeah,
judged.
and
Yeah.
also from the picture, it's different from the stage, the live.
Hmm.
Judging is different. Yeah.
Yeah.
What they don't also realize as well, most of the time there's seven on a panel on the average, right? And everybody scores accordingly, not score how they're positioned on their line. Because yeah, it is subjective.
Mm,
So I mean, the probabilities of having some sort of like favoritism or juice, nepotism,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, it's kind of hard. You guys really got to take a look at it objectively and see what you're up against, who you're competing up against as well
Hmm.
too. And a lot of the judges, if you're competing more than once or even maybe yeah, okay, more than once a year, they're going to remember your faces for the most part. I mean, Angela is adamant about like, hey, these are my notes. She takes notes throughout judging
Hmm.
through the shows throughout the years, and she keeps them. And
Okay.
she sees like, oh yeah, this was number competitor number such and such in whatever division. And she also annotates like the good stuff, like how well you developed within the year or from
Okay.
show to show. And she will advise that as well to, hey, congratulations, just keep at it because you are making progress, you are making gains.
Mm.
So they pay attention. I'm sure you see for as many competitors as you view a year, you remember familiar faces, right?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that they have, I mean, they have so many divisions now, right? They have so many categories, right? And they are having the fit model thing. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's just give people more a good opportunity, for people just started this fitness journey.
Mm.
You don't have to train like, long time, 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 years to get on stage. Right
Right.
now, 1 year, I don't know, maybe some hardcore training half year, you can just
Hmm.
go on the stage, do this fitness model, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't require a lot training.
It
So
allows the beginners to
yeah,
kind of get into it, right? Because
yeah,
bikini was like that before. It was beginners, but then it turned into more competitive, and now you have people that are been training for
right,
years,
right,
just
right.
trying to win a local show.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's definitely, well, it's going to be longer for you now, right? You're going to be sitting on the panel, sitting there longer, judging these
I
shows
think
now,
it's
right?
gonna be good for the promoter.
Hmm.
Yeah,
There'll be more
yeah,
competitors, more money coming in,
yeah,
more audience. So
right. Yeah,
yeah,
good.
I think that the fit model is going to be a pretty big category. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to do it. Just especially like you said, because it's the beginners, right?
Yeah,
So people have been training a year or less, 2 years
right.
maybe. They're gonna jump in on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a lot more of an easier entry point having that fit model versus thinking that, they could be categorized as a wellness. That's
Oh,
actually you got to grow into that
yeah.
division. You need the ham
Wellness.
hocks.
Yeah, wellness is a tough one.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
even bikini though now. I mean, to win, right? To be like a top, and even at a local show to get first place. I mean, those bikini girls that are winning, they're in shape. I mean, they've been lifting for a while. They come in pretty hard, pretty tight.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, even that, they have a good amount of muscle. So yeah, the fit model is going to be fun. I think it'll open it up. I don't, you think they'll ever do something for like the men, maybe have a similar thing? I mean, there's men's physique, right? But now men's physique has turned into,
No,
yeah, guys are jacked. I mean,
I think I saw different federation. They start this
men model
model.
thing,
Yeah,
just model.
yeah,
Yeah, the
Okay.
WBFF.
yeah, something
Hmm.
like that.
Men's model
It's
It
division.
fitness
was
and
like
fashion, that's
it's
why.
not as muscular, but
Hmm.
more like shape. I don't.
And their bottoms are different. It's the like the men's swimsuit bottoms, like
Yeah,
the kind of
yeah,
like
Mm.
half cut, and then they actually come out in a suit as well too. So it is kind of like a
Men's
pageant.
Health. It was the
Yeah,
magazine back in
going
the
back
day.
to right.
Men's
Yeah,
Health.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what
That's
those
how it
guys look like.
started.
Yeah,
Actually.
they were smaller dudes
Yeah,
with abs, you know
yeah,
what I
with
mean?
that.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, the guy with the best abs usually wins. So,
right, right.
Yeah.
I I wouldn't doubt it.
Gotta look pretty too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then it's the look too, right?
That's
So,
right.
and you gotta have some cool hair.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. If you don't have cool hair, you're not doing well.
yeah,
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 that's pretty cool.
yeah.
So you're done competing. You're not gonna ever do that again, or
I
personally?
I don't know.
Hey,
I'm enjoying my
yeah,
life right now. It's
okay,
nice. Who knows? Maybe later on.
yeah, yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
Oh,
young kids in sports and
that's
stuff, so I can understand
maybe.
why he's,
Yeah.
I mean, he's still, how old are you, by the way?
Come on.
Like, what, 35?
She, she's asking the age, bro.
No.
I didn't ask.
He's 35 or something.
I.
He's got lots
He's
of
like,
I
come
time.
know.
on, man,
Uh,
come on.
I'm 45.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
that's
still
good.
young.
Yeah, that's good.
You still
Yeah.
got lots of time on your hands.
45. Yeah, I mean, you still got it in the back of
Hey,
your
you
mind. I
you
can
can still
tell.
go on stage. You always in a good shape, right?
Yeah, I keep in
Yeah,
pretty good shape while you're
that's
around.
good.
I think it's just the desire, right?
Mm.
Because here's the thing, and I've told people this before. I'm like, I look good, like I'm in good shape, but if I want to get on stage, obviously I'm gonna have to, prep
Not extra effort to it.
probably
Mm.
at least I'd say 8 weeks. I'm
Mm.
pretty lean, but I'd have to do
Mm.
at least a 8 week,
Mm.
which is the first 4 weeks wouldn't be too bad. The last 4 weeks would suck. And I'm like, do I really want to even do 4 weeks of like suffering? I'm just like, for me, I have to really want that.
Right.
It's going to be something I really, if I'm kind of like, I'll do it for fun, it's not going to work out.
So
Mm.
you would just go in like that, but lean down. You wouldn't want to try put on some muscle size first before getting back into the groove.
Yeah, I don't know if I would really want to try to
Okay.
get bigger. Yeah, I don't, yeah, because I think I'd be fine. I mean, obviously, if you get back on, you hit it, like I'll gain a little bit of muscle back, right? And I think I'm fine with the size, because I don't know. I mean, I'd have to do bodybuilding, I guess, like, because I can't even do classic because I think the weight cutoff for my height, I'm like
Yeah.
5'9.5". I think it's
Mm.
like, what is it, 200 or something like that?
Yeah, 198.
198?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I might be able to make that actually. I might be able to make that.
You probably
Mm-hmm.
could.
I think I could if I don't gain any muscle.
Hmm.
See, because I'm like 220 right now. So not gaining any more size, just coming down, I could probably do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably around 10%, maybe
Mm-hmm.
9% body
Mm.
fat, somewhere around there, I
Yeah.
think. So yeah. But again, that's suffering, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you got back into it, Caleb, what division?
I've rather stay in bodybuilding.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
I
walk
don't,
around on? How much do you weigh normally?
just just a little over 200.
Okay.
Yeah, 205.
And
Yeah.
you used to be a light heavyweight when you were competing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I guess for us, we only did the bodybuilding before.
Hmm.
There was an option, right?
Yeah.
So,
It was only bodybuilding.
yeah. Yeah.
It's nice that they have classic now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't do the men's physique. I mean,
You've done it before.
yeah, I just did it for fun, but yeah, I don't think I have the waistline for that anymore anyway.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, and those
Over the
those guys are
years,
got,
yeah,
small waist.
they
It's
do.
gifted, right?
They got, yeah.
Yeah.
Even older guys I see, some of the older guys that compete, they still have small waist,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
That's
for that division, you got to have small waist.
right,
So
right, right. Yeah.
I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
I was just going through doom scrolling on Instagram late last night, and they were showing I forgot what show it was. I should have saved it and showed you, but there were guys in their 70s, like peeled to the gills,
Wow.
shredded, and they look great. They probably, I mean, if it was here down,
Yeah.
their bodies probably look in their 50s,
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
but in their
You see the
face,
face,
the face,
yeah.
you can tell
Yeah.
they're like 70 and 80. I was like, oh my gosh, this is
It's
amazing.
pretty
Oh, board
crazy.
shorts,
Yeah.
board shorts.
Oh, they're all doing board shorts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I was like,
It's
wow,
pretty wild,
imagine if your
man.
grandpa looks like that.
Yeah, I don't know, like I also question it too. Like, I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing,
Hmm.
but how much you're putting yourself at risk competing at that age. Because again, I don't know what they're actually doing.
Mm.
How much gear these guys are on, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, if they're doing it smart, they're taking minimum, then sure. But I kind of doubt that.
Well, I think
Yeah.
at that age, most of the time with the longevity of that sport or in this sport, at that age, you gotta be genetically inclined.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Mm.
for sure. Well, because you actually work out right now. You work out with one of the members.
Yeah.
Was he like 65? He competes, right?
This year, 67.
67. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's done.
Yeah.
He just did a show, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, regardless of whatever they take, but I think it's good for them, you know,
hmm
proper diet, training, consistent training, you know, that's
yeah,
all good stuff, right?
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so. I think
yeah,
you just got to be careful.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
certain things you got to, with your heart. If you have kidney issues, a lot
right,
of
But
right.
still, I
times.
mean, would you look at that and be like, oh, for his age, that's unhealthy versus like a guy his age not moving around, sitting on the couch, lying around,
No,
you know
not
what I
at
mean?
all.
Right.
No, I think the
So,
working out and everything is healthy. I'm just saying, depending on what they're using, right? What
Right,
kind of
right.
gear? Because,
Yeah,
and you and I both know, I mean, you can get carried away
yeah.
and you can put yourself at unnecessary risk, right? Especially if you're
Yeah,
messing with diuretics
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end there and stuff.
Yeah, especially go on stage, you know, different, yeah.
Yes. So there's things I'm all about it. Like I think it's great. Like if dudes at 70 and they're still competing, like that's pretty cool.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
that's pretty wild. I mean, I don't know if I'd have any desire to get on stage at 70, but I'm always gonna lift, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think lifting,
Yeah,
the lifestyle of lifting is
yeah,
great no matter
yeah,
what. Any age, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
So
yeah.
because yeah, you have some older clients, Jed. What's the oldest that you ever trained?
I bet guys in their 50s.
50,
Mm.
yeah.
I don't think anything above that. Not that I can remember.
I think 50 is like a lot of people consider like, I mean, I think people do consider 50 being old, but I don't think they're like, oh, that's, you know, too old. I think when you hear people in their late 60s, 70s, are like, whoa, like that is like very small percentage, because there's a lot of guys now in their 50s that are training now
Right, right.
that, this
Yeah,
generation, like my generation, because we've been lifting,
yeah,
we started lifting when we were younger and it's been going on now.
right.
And I'm sure, the next generation, you're going to see that too, right? Maybe even more people in their 50s and
I
60s
hope
because
so.
health and fitness
Yeah.
has grown so much
I
over
mean,
the
to say that
years.
50's, oh, dude, I'm right around the corner from that age. So,
Well, okay, depends on who you ask, right? If you ask a 21-year-old, is 50 old?
yeah, hell
How many
yeah.
21-year-olds are going to say, hell yeah, that's old,
My
right?
nieces and nephews would be like, yeah, damn, Auntie's old.
Like they
Yeah.
can't even, they'd be like 50. What is that? Like, how are you still alive? Like, right? And then I think 30-year-olds, that's when the reality, they start to kind of go, oh, maybe, okay, I understand what aging is about. And then,
Mm.
they start to figure out like, okay, 50 isn't too bad. But the 20-year-olds, oh, they think 50 is old. All of them. I think all of them do. For sure.
I know.
So,
Well, how you feel? You scared every time when I think about, I'm scared. Like, oh man, almost 50.
It crosses my
Gosh,
mind a
yeah.
lot. But see, lucky we're Asian, so we age very, very gracefully.
yeah.
I like to think
Uh,
so.
well, how old are you again,
Asians
Jed?
don't
Mhm.
raisin.
How old are you? 42?
I turned 42 in like a
42.
month or two.
Yeah, so you're actually the youngest here.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are 40s. See, I'm close to 60, guys. I mean, I'm 56. Like,
Yeah.
I'm close to 60. But you know what it is too, though? I remember when I was getting towards 50, I remember it was kind of a thing. And then I was like, oh, 50, and then 51, 52. And then I think I just kind of just got to the point where you just accept it. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna be 60 in the next few years. Like, whatever.
yeah,
You know, I think the more acceptance, then the easier it is. And then you
right.
just go, whatever. And then, hey, if I make it to 70s, 80s, 90s,
You
who
know why?
knows?
You know why it kind of concerns me? The average lifespan of a human being is what, say about 85?
Depends, right? If it's a
And
male or female.
yeah,
Yeah.
on the average. If I'm rearing near 50, dude,
Yeah.
like more than half of my life's over. So that's the way I look
Yeah.
at it. So I
Yeah.
don't have much longer to live, and
Well, but
unfortunately.
if you think about it, okay, like think about like 35 years. That's pretty long. Like think about from when you were like, say, I don't know, let's just say from when you're like 10 years old, 35 years after that. Like that's a long time,
Yeah, it
right? If
is.
you look back all the years, you go, that's pretty long.
That's why I think now, as far as bodybuilding, I kind of more um I'm leaning towards biohacking, and starting to
Yeah.
just live a
Yeah.
lot for longevity purposes more than just looking great. I mean,
Right.
that's part of the fun, looking great as well too, doing it. But biohacking, trying to live a
Mhm.
little bit longer and healthier life.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting to me because, and you see it, people do all the things correctly, and then you hear, oh, did you hear about that guy? He just died. Like he was running and he died. Like what?
Yeah.
Oh, he was in such good shape. How old was he? Oh, 50. Like
Yeah.
Mm,
See,
what? He
hey,
just, oh yeah, everything was perfect. Like he gets his blood work, he does take the vitamins, like, and he just died. Like, okay. I'm like, well, so
yeah.
you just don't know, right?
yeah.
When God calls you, yeah.
When it's your time. I mean, it's just, hey, time to go.
But
So,
still, I'd like to increase my chances,
oh,
living
100%.
a healthier life.
100%. And I also am a believer though, as we age, that yeah, you should push yourself, but you also have to know your limits too a little bit because I think you can overdo it as you age, which I think could probably shorten your
Definitely,
life a
we
little
talk
bit.
about that a lot. So,
Yeah.
since your bodybuilding, era in comparison to now, is your lifting still the same? Are you still pounding the weights, lifting heavy, or is it
Oh,
a little bit more different now that you're a lot
yeah.
older?
Different. It's
You
different.
changed it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not trying to push it hard for as before. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't come in here thinking, oh, I want to get bigger, right?
Right, right, right.
See,
PRs.
Yeah,
you're just thinking
yeah,
workout, feel
yeah,
good,
yeah,
lift, get a
yeah.
nice pump, right?
Once in a while, still thinking about challenge myself, but not as crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because what about your eating? I mean, are you doing like, oh, a gram of protein, and per pound and all this stuff and meals, or are
Well,
you kind of looser with it?
yeah. I mean, all these years it become a habit.
Hmm.
It's my eating is overall I think it's good.
Yeah.
And not much deep fried stuff. And most time I just prepare my own food.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
are you big on taking vitamins? Like what I was talking about, biohacking and all that, like
Um,
TRT, vitamins? No.
I still trying to learn those stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
Trying to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, you can talk to her. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
she's into it,
Yeah,
so
I'm
she's
very
got
much
to,
so into
Okay.
it.
she's
Okay.
got to,
Peptides
yeah,
and all of that
Yeah.
all
other
that
stuff.
stuff.
Yep, TRT
That's
and
cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
health
cool.
overall, even
Yeah.
especially for women. I think the women, like I was
Mm,
explaining in a couple of shows before, that the parameters of our hormones are so misconstrued from what's healthy.
mm,
And I honestly think because of the women that are pre and postmenopausal, like the hormonal fluctuations
mm,
is what makes them crazy. And if they were on some sort of HRT, it'll help neutralize a lot of those symptoms. I mean, it's
Mm,
been kind of proven fact more than just anecdotally. There are scientific studies that
mm,
show. So women that think like, oh my God, what I gotta take testosterone, like, yeah, we actually have that in our body innately to begin with. It's just the amount of testosterone needed. And speaking of females on testosterone, I hate to get into it, but I did have this conversation with
okay.
somebody outside, and I was at a dinner, a potluck one night, and it was a first time viewer of a female that was watching one of the shows, and she happened to had known some of the competitors, and she was like, but one of her concerns was like, hey Mel, if I compete, will my voice turn like that too, from like this pitch to
Mm,
here?
yeah.
And I was like, no, I, some people choose to use some steroids, especially like the females on this, and there's smarter ways to do it. I really don't advise for women, if you're going to be doing bikini, please absolutely not do steroids.
Mm,
That was just crazy for me at that dinner party, a complete outsider, first time at a show. I was like,
just.
whoa, yeah, that threw me back a little bit. So,
Well, I mean, there's a lot of competitor. There's a lot of I think bikini competitors that are using something.
hmm
Maybe they're not doing anything heavy, but they're definitely on something because the standards for bikini, they want them pretty hard. I mean, you guys want them to come in
yeah.
pretty solid, pretty tight.
hmm
So
Right.
yeah, I think it just kind of pushes it towards that way in that direction. That's why the fit model, I think 100% they should be natural.
oh
Should
yeah,
be. Should be.
Like
should
you
be.
should be natural in the fit model. Like,
hmm
yeah,
You know what it is nowadays, right? People just want to train a couple months, just get on the stage. They
yeah,
want a shortcut.
Right. Well, they want
Yeah.
the photos for their Instagram and
Right, right.
you know, I did the show, I did the prep,
Yeah,
follow me on this journey and yeah, it's like a
yeah,
thing now, I
yeah,
think, for sure.
yeah. Everything's shortcut. Yeah,
Yeah, it's content. I know it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Crazy how many people now that I know that have like competed. They did like one show or maybe two shows, kind of in the same time. And then I'm like, "Oh, you're ever gonna compete?" And they're like, "Oh no, that was just the thing." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, wow, like weird. It's
Dif
weird to me. I'm like, "Wow,
different,
you just did it just
different.
because it was a thing."
Yeah, yeah.
Bucket list.
Yeah,
It
like
is. Yeah.
I don't know. That's like me entering like a bowling tournament or something. Like I'm gonna go enter a bowling tournament.
That's why.
Practice and go bowling. Like I don't know. It's
That's
weird.
why it won't last. People, those people won't last.
Right. Well, and usually a lot of those people, you talk to them and they're not even working out anymore.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of them like, "Are you still going to the gym?" "Oh no, I don't have time." I'm like, "But you look pretty good at that show." And they're like, "Yeah, I just got busy," and they just stopped lifting completely. And it's like, "Oh, wow, okay, well, I guess it was a bucket list." Focused for a little bit, did the show, and then everything just kind of dropped off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, do you judge other shows in the mainland as well to at a NPC like a state level or not
State,
at all?
no, never done a state level in on the mainland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
normally they have their own
Mm-hmm.
panels. Yeah, yeah.
But do you still have your show in China, by the way?
My friend taking over.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that a pro show or is that a
pro qualifier and
pro
pro
qualify?
show. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So, speaking of China,
Mm.
you like, I'm sure, I mean, it's obviously different. Do you really enjoy living here in Hawaii a lot more than you did in China? Or is it just, it's not, you can't compare it? Like they're
Oh
so
no.
different, but they're both good or,
Uh, Hawaii. I think definitely better.
Mhm,
The living quality is
it's
better.
better.
Yeah,
Okay.
including the air quality, food.
Okay.
Um, you know, just overall living quality is higher
Yeah.
than whenever I live in China.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think um, business wise, fair enough. People are not doing, you know, hiding things or
Mm,
whatever.
okay.
But yeah, China is because too many people there.
I see.
People are cheating. People doing
Oh,
bad things.
okay.
Simple business. It could be so complicated over there. Yeah, but
Mm.
over here is I would say fairly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we probably have a lot more rules, right? There's a lot
Yeah.
more
True.
like
True.
regulations here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a lot strict here with
Mm-hmm.
following the regulations
Mm-hmm.
and there's
Yeah.
penalties to it and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because I never been there to China, so
Mm.
I
But there are also good things over there. China has a lot of opportunities.
okay,
Yeah, so many opportunities. And
interesting.
yeah,
Did you learn English? I mean, when you after you left China, or did you learn it when you were there?
we learned some English in school,
Okay,
and then yeah, then after move here, took
obviously.
some class. Still learning right now.
Yeah, still learning,
Still learning. Oh
still.
my gosh.
I'm sure. Well, the English language is so complicated. I mean, there's so
uh,
much. No, your English is good though. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Because
And
what type of Chinese do you speak? Sorry,
Mandarin.
Mandarin.
Yeah.
Is that the most? That's the popular
Yeah,
one.
that's the
Okay,
official, yeah,
official. Okay,
language. Yeah.
well, the reason why I asked if you judged other variations or other or other shows, I should say, from the mainland or
Mm,
states from versus just in Hawaii or besides the nationals that you needed to test judge at
right.
and your show is I'd like to know from your perspective as far as you being a judge, when you see a standout competitor and they approach you for judges feedback, do you encourage them to continue on because you see something in them that might be potential for something greater?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I always ask them what's their next step, what's
Yeah.
their
Oh,
goal,
okay.
So, some competitor they kind of like in between, like for example, bikini and wellness. I kind of understand. I kind of want to ask them, what's your, direction,
mm,
so I can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
That's good feedback as well too, because I see a lot of the women, they kind of they think they fall in between like a bikini and a wellness,
Mm-hmm.
but they are not fully developed for wellness yet, but they
Right.
want to stay in wellness
Right.
instead of grow into bikini and then progress into wellness. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a conversation that they need to have with themselves and a coach. But
Right.
I honestly think from a judge's perspective, if the judge helps kind of like get them on a track, they can further concentrate on nailing
Right.
whatever division is
Yeah.
most suited for their body. Because I know that comes across a lot.
Yeah.
You see, majority of the crossovers are the women bikini into wellness.
Mm.
Yeah, do you like these crossovers? I mean, or is it sometimes when you see it, you're like, oh, this person doesn't belong in this division. They
I
probably
see
should
that.
stay
I
in
see
the
it
other.
often. Yeah. Yeah.
They're crossing over, but they don't really belong
Yeah.
there.
I mean, most time I can tell they just want to give it a try, see how it
I
looks.
see.
Yeah. So
I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the two close divisions is like, yes, most men's bodybuilders and classic, they kind of can pull it off, especially if you kind of have a
Some.
small waist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, women's physique and figure, they could kind of pull it off,
Hmm.
but the vast difference between a bikini bottom half versus a wellness bottom half is like night and
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Yeah. And I see a lot of
Different.
bikini doing crossover into wellness,
Hmm.
and I'm
Mm.
like, okay, well, here locally anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
some of the figure girls, I mean, bikini girls that want to get into figure, I mean, that's another amount of size that you need to put on. So, yeah, it's just a matter of time and development. And just
Yeah.
like how you said, a lot
Right.
of them just want the shortcut, right?
Yeah.
Do you think, because I see figure doesn't seem to be as popular. I
Yeah.
mean, do you think figure they're gonna keep that? You think so?
I
It'll
think
be
yeah.
here.
I think the figure is
They're
the
gonna stick
most
around.
competitive
Really?
category. Yeah. It just I mean at least for Hawaii it's shrinking
Hmm.
because figure requires a lot,
Yeah.
dedication, training, diet. Mm, 1 year, 2 years not gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
So to me personally, I like watching figures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always liked figure.
Yeah.
I always, because like you said, that was like it requires a
Yeah.
certain level
Yeah.
of training you had to put in
Mm-hmm.
just to get on the stage to compete in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I always like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I notice here in Hawaii, there's not a lot of figure
Mm.
competitors. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Like there used to be, but
Because that was the only division between figure and bodybuilding at
well,
one
no,
point
when
in
I mean,
time.
when bikini came, then bikini
Right.
came in,
Right.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, what used to be, right? It was like figure bodybuilding, then bikini came in,
Yeah.
and then a lot of girls started doing bikini.
Yeah.
So, and now with wellness, I think there's a lot of girls who are doing wellness now who maybe would have done figure, but they're doing wellness. So
Mm.
I think so you're losing a lot of figure competitors. Yeah. And we really don't have like women's physique here. I mean, hardly ever.
Yeah.
Like
you know,
small little handful of them,
yeah,
not very many at all.
hardly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of shows you won't have any, or there'll be one, right?
Hmm.
She wins by default. Like,
Or
yeah,
even if there's two, they still win by
yeah,
default.
they win by default. Yeah, and women bodybuilding, forget about it. That's not
We
even
hadn't had
existing.
women's bodybuilding
Yeah,
for years now, huh?
that doesn't even exist here in the islands.
Do you think, this like open up like men's physique, woman bikini, um, open up this kind of category, kind of kill bodybuilding?
Yeah,
That's the reason,
yeah,
right?
I think so.
Because people are, before only bodybuilding,
Right.
there are no options, but
Yeah.
a lot of people just do it. But actually, right now the market is good.
Mhm.
A lot more people registering in the competition than before.
Well, I think having all those categories, it's helped expand the sport
Right.
overall, and I think there's a lot more money in fitness,
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilding in
Mm-hmm.
itself, just fitness industry. But as far as bodybuilding goes itself, for sure, I think it's you go back to the 90s, the early 2000s. I mean, when you look at the national shows, super competitive. I
Right.
mean, and those guys, there was so many good guys that were, and they'd have to do 2, 3 national shows,
Yep.
maybe 4 to get pro card.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys were they were pro level already, but it was so competitive they
Yeah.
had to wait in line.
Yeah.
You know, um, nowadays I think just saying like I see some shows and I'm like, oh, the lineups. I don't think overall the lineup's not that strong.
Right.
You know, you might have one good guy or maybe there's one or two,
Yeah.
but it's not that strong. You
Yeah.
know, overall, not like before where the top five was pretty solid. You know, like it
Mm.
was like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
these guys were pretty solid. So I think the numbers have come down because I think there's guys that maybe could be doing bodybuilding, but they decided to do classic. You know, and whatever. And so you're losing those guys
Right.
to classic who could have been bodybuilders, you know?
But the money is in bodybuilding as far as like at the pro level. So
They have to. I
Yeah,
think.
everybody knows that at the top of the ring, right? It's going to
Yeah.
be the
That's the
pro
core. That's the
bodybuilding is where
core
it's
there.
at,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But that's also the hardest, right?
Yeah.
Let's
It's
be
the hardest
honest.
one.
To get to that level. And then what is the percentage of guys that make it to that elite top pro
Right.
level bodybuilding? It's a very small
very
percentage. But
But
there's a lot of classic bodybuilders out there.
yeah, Mel brought up a good point. That's the thing. The big money is over there, and that's I'm afraid one day we're gonna lose that one. You know,
Mm.
the big money go to different category.
You think so?
That's the time the bodybuilding just gone. You know, it's not gonna be exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the bodybuilding has always had a following of people that love that freak show, right? Like they
Mm,
love muscle. Like
mm,
who's got the most jacked physique? Like, and that's kind of how it's always been, right? That's why bodybuilding has always been open bodybuilding has always been the thing. Like people are like, oh man, they want to see the most jacked guys, right? And I think there's always going to be that audience. Um, but I get what you're saying is it could happen over time where the freak show thing, the freak factor,
yeah,
people start to change their opinion on it and they want more of a
yeah,
classic physique
yeah.
look, maybe.
I don't know. Just as long as the Olympia stays around, I think the mass monsters are going to stay around because that's what the Olympia was founded on was bodybuilders,
Yep,
right?
Yes.
So
yeah,
that's why the
And
purse
the
is so
Arnold
big.
too.
Yeah,
yeah.
the Arnold, but I see like how the Arnold, the money is starting to shift a little bit. And then just most recently, there was a big stink about how just the men's classic guys, the winner made more money than all of the women collectively.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
once more BS flag starts to
Yeah.
raise, like how he was saying, and the money starts to get dispersed a little bit more evenly, is that when we're gonna lose, you know, the bodybuilding?
Hmm.
Maybe.
You don't think that the bodybuilding keeps the other categories going because people want to be part of a bodybuilding contest, but they can't do the open, so they'll enter like physique or something? Because
if
like
you
like let's
talk,
say open bodybuilding wasn't there and it was just like physique and bikini and stuff. You think
Hmm.
and
it'd be
yeah,
different?
yeah, I think it's happening right now. If talk about 5, 6 years ago, people debating should I go to bodybuilding or classic? And it's that time, and even right now it's happening. A lot of time, a lot of shows happening. But I think from now on,
But wouldn't it
people are
attract as
not.
much attention if bodybuilding wasn't there? That's what I'm saying. Like people may enter bikini or physique, but I mean, I don't really know how to say it. But like if open bodybuilding wasn't there, you think it'd bring as
Hmm.
much attention to it where people would enter any category?
I don't know.
It's not gonna. I don't think gonna be related at all.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
because local shows, right? Like,
yeah.
okay, the last few shows, how many men's open bodybuilders did you have in the last couple local shows?
I don't know. You can't even one or two.
Yeah,
We
it
could,
wasn't
Right.
a
and we
lot.
could
Yeah,
talk about
That's what I'm
years,
saying.
yeah.
And
It's
these
years,
are
not.
local level
hand over
shows.
fist, years this been happening that the men's bodybuilding
Yeah,
started to dissipate
yeah.
and
Yeah.
more towards
Because
classic.
And now it's a lot of classic.
people want to jump on the stage. They don't think about bodybuilding. They look at those physique. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
want to be like that. I want to go stage like that. Classic bikini. It's not like, oh, I want to do bodybuilding, but I want to do this first.
Well, yeah. What do you think about as far as crowd people going to a contest? You think it'd still be as big without bodybuilding there? I mean, the
Crowd.
bigger contest, like Mr. Olympia without open bodybuilding, you think as many people would go?
I see the classic and men's physique building their
Classic, yeah,
audience.
yeah.
There are a lot of people going for that.
You know, I hate to say it, but I mean, I think when I look at especially the younger generation coming up,
Yeah.
I think they definitely are much more fond of the classic physique look. Like I really think so. Like, and the classic physique guys, I mean, look at some of these guys, look at their following and look at
Yep.
their reels. And I mean, they had a lot of people that
Mhm.
are
Yeah.
into their,
Yeah.
their page and what they're doing. Sure, the top open guys have a good, decent following, but I think the classic physique guys overall have a bigger following.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because their body type, their look, their everything is far more marketable.
Right.
Well, there's also influencers that have big followings that can never win a show at all.
Right, right. But I'm just saying what that creates though, right? You're creating this audience, right?
Yeah.
Like if one guy has 10 million followers, that's a big audience of people
Hmm.
Yeah.
that are interested in him,
Yeah.
right? So
Like you can even talk about it too, like as far as Sebum, his following versus like a Lunsford or any like or even Hadi.
okay.
I mean, as far as marketability, a lot more had been leaning towards that classic, that look,
Yeah.
that everything, the way he even comes across and projects himself to be versus a open bodybuilder.
Yeah, I don't know. I think something has been lost along the way over the years from like man, when I look at the 90s bodybuilding, again, I'm older, right? I'm gonna
Toxic
choose it, but
masculinity.
no, talk.
That's
But when you
that's
look
a,
at the 90s and even the early
they were
2000
manly
bodybuildings,
men.
no, but it was fun. The shows were
And
fun to
everybody was
watch.
paying attention to
Watch the
bodybuilding.
lineups,
Bodybuilding
man.
was the shit.
Lineups were fun. The
Yeah.
guys were so competitive. And the guys were sliced. Those guys came in tight. Not saying that these guys come in tight, but honestly, I can say that when I look at the Olympia winners the last few years compared to the Olympia winners from, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I don't think they're as tight.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as dry as those guys. Those guys were, man,
Yeah. But the
they were
masculinity
shredded.
thing, I think that has a part and parcel to do with it as well too, as far as
How
like
society views that.
yeah, the view, the look,
Yeah.
the everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like before
The
it
toxic
was
masculinity.
Yeah.
it was
I
a
hate that.
thing to be a freaking
I know.
man's man, but now it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, man's man is toxic. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
It's
I know.
it's
Well,
like
there's this whole thing about go look at they show all these like superhero movies now, right? And it's the female leads now, right? They're like,
Mm.
oh, the female leads now. Like back in the day, it was like Rambo, Arnold,
man's man.
Jean Claude,
And now
like,
they look a little soft, the men
and
heroes.
then the guys are skinny. They
Hmm.
were actually showing. I think there was some
It
some
acts, yeah.
real, and the superhero guys now are just skinny dudes.
With the exception of Alien. Because Sigourney Weaver was the lead role as a female and it did really well.
Yeah, yeah. That wasn't really like a superhero
That
though.
was like
That
an
was
action horror.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
an action horror. That was a good series though.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
I love that series.
But I
But
think it
yeah,
evolved just even with that in
I
itself.
think I think the look I look has
But
changed.
yeah. I get what you're saying, Jet. So as long the big money is still on that bodybuilding category,
Yeah.
it's still a draw for people,
Hmm.
not gonna be big. Just
Yeah.
look at the state level competition. There are
Mhm.
no
No,
bodybuilders.
there's not.
So you can imagine a couple year later on the Olympia stage, not many people gonna be there.
The trickle
You
down
know.
effect, just like,
So
Well,
all
we,
comes from the state level.
yeah,
So
no, it does, right?
yeah,
It comes from the
yeah.
state because if you don't have anybody
Then
doing
it goes on
state, they're
nationals.
nothing
Yeah,
nationals,
yeah,
and nothing
yeah,
nationals, nothing pro.
yeah.
That's true. So, and I think once a lot of the older guys that are involved in the sport, because they're getting up there, they're getting
Right.
pretty old. Once those guys kind of retire and the
Yeah,
younger guys are coming up,
yeah,
right? That might be a different type of sport.
yeah.
Yeah.
so you men get back into bodybuilding. It's an easy punch card.
Oh,
It's going to be the thing to do. Like, hey, you want to get your pro card? Go to bodybuilding now because nobody's doing
That's
it,
what I'm
right?
saying. It's
It's
gonna
going
be
to
an easy punch
reverse now.
card.
Bodybuilding is going to be the easy one, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
men's
crazy.
physique's going to be hard.
Because like in the 90s, there were really good bodybuilders that never made it.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
dude, there
A
was
lot,
so
yeah.
many.
Yeah. Like what was it? Mendenhall was one of them.
Mendenhall was one of them. Edgar Fletcher was one of them. I mean, there's a list of them, dude.
Yeah.
And I remember because I was very like into it at the time and competing, and you would go and it was literally like the top 5 guys in like the USA, and you're like, oh, all these guys are waiting their turn. They're like, this
Mm,
guy turned pro, the next show coming up, these guys were all in the next show. Oh, that guy turned pro. The next show, that guy turned pro. They were all in line waiting to get their pro cards behind this guy and this guy. It was crazy. And a lot of times when guys turned pro, they were already placing top 5 in pro shows that year or the next year.
Right, right.
That just shows you how good
Right.
they were when they turned pro.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They were already at that level. So, I think it's different because a lot of times now you see guys turn pro, they're not even placing in
They
pro
take a
shows
year off or
2,
something.
3 years
Yeah.
later. You know what I mean? Because not saying that they got the pro card early, but I don't think that the level of getting your pro card nowadays it's changed, right? Because of the competition.
Yep.
I think the guys, everybody busts their ass and they
And for
work
the
hard.
amount of pro cards that are dished out throughout the year as well, too, do you think that watered
It
down the
watered it down.
competition?
It did. Oh, it big time. Because like back in the day, the USA Championships, guess how many pro cards it was given?
One
right?
Yeah. So
per.
that guy was good.
Yeah.
When that guy won the pro card, he was good.
And they remembered their names.
Oh no,
Yeah.
everybody remembers him. And he was plastered over all the magazines and everything. And it was like Mr. USA. And that guy was usually doing pro shows that same year.
Yeah.
And most of them top 5 in the pro shows that same year. It was amazing, man. I mean, that was a crazy time back then. But if you wanted to be a pro bodybuilder, good luck. It was hard. So
So that conclude. So let me ask you guys, which one better, back in the 90s or right now? Okay, which is better?
we'll start with
I
Jed.
liked from 90s up to about 2011 was what I thought was really good. Think about after that, it's the started going downhill a little bit.
Mm,
Okay. I kind of agree with Jed actually, to be honest. I think yeah, the probably the mid 2000s you kind of saw a drop off just overall.
okay.
Don't get me wrong, like there was good champions there. There were some really good champions that one guy
Yeah,
here, one
yeah.
guy there. But overall, the overall competition, I felt
Mm,
it just changed. Like I think one of the best ones was when it was like Phil and Kai when they were
right.
Absolutely.
that was
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
That was good
I,
bodybuilding
I
right
was
there,
there at that show that they
Oh,
were
you
like,
were?
yeah.
Yeah, that was good bodybuilding right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, and then things just started. Not to take anything away from the Olympia champions that won after that, because there are some really good Olympia champions,
Mhm.
but just overall,
Yeah, yeah,
I think the competition,
yeah.
yeah, kind of dropped off a little bit.
Mhm.
As far as myself, I have a little bit of mixed feelings about it. More so in agreement with you guys. Back then, I think pre 2010-ish, when you got a pro card, there was some prestige that came with saying, fuck yeah, I got my pro card. I want my pro card or like what have you, right? Now, like how I was saying, because they pass them out so much more frequently at these shows, did it get a little bit watered down or like oversaturated? Yes. And at the same time, like how we talk about from the bodies from the 90s into the 2010s ish, why aren't we popping out champs like that anymore, especially with the amount of information and resources that we have, um, with the internet and accessibility
Hmm.
to things like how we talked just last week? Why aren't we popping out freaking freak monsters?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's because of the appeal. I think what the general public finds appealing nowadays,
Mm,
overall,
mhm,
I think people like the more streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
Like
mm,
it's so funny because I'll run into people that I haven't seen in a while,
mm,
in like a couple years, and they'll be like, "Wow, man, oh, you look good," and they're talking to me, and I'm just like,
mhm.
I'm not big or nothing. I don't think I'm big at all. I'm in
Right.
shape, but I'm like, oh, this guy never said that to me when I was jacked,
Oh,
Like I don't remember him ever telling
right,
me
yeah.
that when I was big. But now that I'm smaller and I'm just lean, they're like, "Oh, you're looking good, man. Oh yeah, good job." I'm thinking, "Wow, I didn't even get
But
that
what
much
if that comes
praise."
with age, that you look good
Oh,
for
because
your
I'm old.
age?
You're like, instead of saying, "Wow, Mark, you look good," and you're old, but you look good, instead of just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's part of it. Maybe it's like they're impressed because they're like, "Damn, dude,
For
you're
your
old,
age, you
but
Right.
you
look
still look
good.
good," right?
Yeah, right,
For
Right.
right.
your
So
age,
it
right?
could be that, or at that time that you were jacked, it could have
Mm.
been they were too intimidated to say like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit."
Yeah.
Yeah, because I honestly, I feel like I don't even get as much compliments like then as I do now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
maybe it is the age thing. Maybe it is
Mm-hmm.
just like, wow, the fact that, oh, you're older and look at you, you're still in
Mm-hmm.
shape.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So back to Caleb's question, as far as the people who are turning pro now, I mean that's fantastic. It is a milestone of a achievement in
Yeah.
itself. Yes, I mean I was one of the late bloomers that turned pro in an open class in 2 divisions.
Mm,
I have to rub salt there. Anyway, but have that being said, I know my place. Where the divisions that I turned pro in, I don't want to have to go to those extremes, especially in my older age. So I don't not knocking or taking away anything from people who desire to turn pro. You
Mhm.
absolutely should give yourself a fair shot, is what we're trying to say. I'm trying to say, don't shortcut anything and just be patient in the game, because I have other instances where people had asked, like, just say a bikini girl had asked, "Oh, I didn't cut it as a bikini girl. Do you think I should drop down into fit model?" And it's
mm,
like, no, you're right there on the precipice. Just because you place top 5 and not win, that doesn't mean that you're not cut for the
mm,
division.
right,
Mhm.
So
right.
just keep going. Like who cares what people say?
Yeah,
Just keep
Yeah.
going.
yeah,
Yeah, and I also think like you said, has it been watered down, because of so many cards going out there, and probably, but I also think like, yeah, it's still hard to get pro card. Like it's still
Mm-hmm.
like you got to bust your ass. You got to do a lot to get it. It's definitely not like, oh, it's just an easy thing. But I think that the competition has changed a lot,
yeah,
and there's a lot more opportunities now to
right.
get the pro card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So people who get it, hey, I'm like right on. That's cool. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
still you earn that shit,
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, back in the day, it almost seemed
It's
like
prestigious
well,
to
it was
have,
almost like impossible. It
like saying
almost
that you
seemed
got your doctorate.
oh no, I honestly was like it was almost like a dream.
yeah,
you're trying to
yeah,
turn pro in bodybuilding. Oh, dude, like you got a long road ahead of you. You know what I mean? Like that was crazy stuff
yeah,
back then.
yeah.
So how do you feel about it, Caleb?
I think it's to me it's a passion. It's not
Mhm.
about pro card and whatever. I mean, I started with passion and just love it.
Mhm.
That time I didn't even care, I didn't even know there's amateur and pro, difference.
Okay.
Just pure passion. That's
Yeah.
what drives me, till
Yeah,
today.
that's great.
Yeah. So and
That's good. I
yeah,
mean, that makes it fun.
yeah,
Because once you start locking in on, oh, I gotta get pro, it
right, right,
changes
right,
things.
right.
It makes it a little different for you, and then it
Yeah,
takes some of the fun out, I think.
yeah,
You put the pressure on yourself. So,
yeah.
And you could tell, like how you were saying, whether or not you're passionate about it, because the guys who do 1 or 2 shows and just fall off the face of the earth
Right,
after that,
right, right.
they weren't really in for it because they love working out. Like we're still
mm,
here doing it how
Yeah,
many decades
yeah,
later?
yeah,
We plan on doing it till
yeah.
we get buried, you know?
Yeah, we
So
do it.
yeah.
It's not because we won the show or we
hmm
lost the show.
Hmm.
Yeah.
so talking about passion, definitely a good point to make.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point too, I feel like all of us, I mean, it's just part of our lifestyle now,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
even mental health wise.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we talk about a lot
Right.
on here. It just helps keep you balanced
Right.
mentally,
Definitely.
stress release, like
Yeah.
just to get in your,
Yeah.
you don't have to be on all those antidepressant medication.
Mm-hmm.
You can just hit some iron.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb, you're gonna be judging the Ikaika
Ikaika.
Ikaika
Uh,
show, or
I haven't decided
your
yet. We'll figure
kids,
the
because it's
schedule.
the weekend.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the 4th of July weekend.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
What
Oh,
about
that's
the
right.
Sean Ray? You normally judge that too
Sean.
because there's pros as well too,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who are going to be competing, Caleb's going to be there on the judges table,
Yeah.
more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask you, but like, so right now here in Hawaii, we have what, 4 NPC shows,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that that's a good number? You think we could add more, or do you think it's maybe too many shows? Like,
I
how do you feel about that?
I think 4 right now is good. 5 is fine too.
Oh yeah, you think
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
could do
But
How
five?
do you feel about expanding off to the other islands?
that's always tough.
Mm.
They actually tried
Neighbor,
it
yeah,
before.
yeah,
I
neighbor island,
remember
yeah,
Maui
yeah.
Maui,
and
It's
Kauai.
too much pressure for the
even Big Island.
promoters. Yeah,
Mm.
um, yeah. Um, 4 or 5 shows are good. I think, because I, been to China, Japan, Korea. I see how those promoter work.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a lot of promoting work. So
Okay.
as long as promoter they do their job promoting shows, I
Yeah.
think it's the market's still there. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
They just have to promote a little
yeah,
more some of the
yeah.
shows.
Give
Yeah.
some prize, whatever, not cash prize, but
Right.
different kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
How do you feel about the OCB natural show coming to Hawaii? It's a totally different sanction, but they are legitimately a 100% natural sanction show.
They've had it like
Yeah.
twice, I think.
And one's
it's
coming up
not
in
it's not
June.
NPC.
No, it's not
Oh, it's
NPC. Yeah, it's
different
OCB.
league.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, drug free.
Mm. They do a drug test,
Yeah,
or
they
they
do.
okay,
I
cool.
think for the winners, right, or something.
I believe so. And it's a winners and at random. They could just be like, hey,
Random.
you
Oh, you
team
look good.
test.
We're testing you. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
look suspicious. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I think that's good. I know there a lot of people want to do a natural show.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you foresee the NPC having a natural show here in Hawaii?
I think they should.
I think so too.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So whatever promoters out there want to do an NPC natural show,
Mm-hmm.
let's go.
I wonder how that would do, though. I mean, you definitely won't have any bodybuilding for sure.
Right.
You'll
Yeah.
have, yeah, I don't think have
Yeah.
bodybuilding,
Yeah.
drug-free bodybuilding. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a system I think is gonna be help the original natural show because there's gonna be a national natural pro qualifier.
Okay,
So you need to get qualified by competing in local natural show to go on national.
for the NPC.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
if they're setting up bigger stage, they're gonna help all the local shows.
How are they gonna test? What kind of testing?
I don't know yet so
I
far.
think that
Yeah.
they were talking about the same random urinalysis, random
Okay.
blood test, and or the lie detector.
Oh.
Oh, lie detector. Yeah. That one's interesting.
I mean, how else are you gonna test?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it costs money, right?
That's why it
Yeah.
costs money. Do
Yeah,
they want to dish out all the money towards
to do your
testing?
analysis. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I know like the bigger pro shows that are natural, you have to submit your urinalysis at the same time as your application as well
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
That's not a. I mean, people can prepare for that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah.
when I compete in China nationals, I got called name 2 times. I mean, I was at work.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't call me, whatever. They just came to my work.
Showed up.
Yeah, so I was working, and then the friend that's calling me. So two guy came with a like small suitcase. Said we're gonna do a drug test on you.
Wow.
So the moment I saw them, I'm not allowed to leave at all. So
Oh,
they said, okay, you want to go bathroom right now? We're gonna follow you.
wow.
So that's the drug test.
Yeah.
They call in China called flight drug test.
They
These
just
people
show up.
flying everywhere to show up. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
Damn.
same goes for the some of the pro shows.
yeah,
They could be at random
yeah,
anywhere
yeah,
at middle of the working day, you know, at home or whatever.
They
yeah.
sneak up. And what was that for?
This is for China national bodybuilding. Yeah,
Oh, China National.
yeah, yeah.
And what happens if you fail? 10 years in jail. No,
Oh no,
no, Chinese.
yeah,
Chinese, they don't mess around.
2 year suspension.
2 year
You can't
suspension.
compete. Yeah.
Oh, wow. They're pretty
Serious.
strict, huh?
Yeah, serious. Yeah.
Uh, two
Yeah.
year suspension. Yeah. Interesting. Different out there.
Yeah, I think these ones here in America, you just kind of go on a wall of shame and you get suspended for a couple of years too, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand. If you're gonna do drug free, then just do drug free. I mean, like,
Yeah, don't cheat,
like,
don't
yeah, I'm
cycle
like, if you're
in
gonna
and
do drug
out.
free, just do drug free. Like, geez, like,
Give the other guys a
yeah,
chance.
whatever.
yeah.
Like,
I
get
know.
off the gear, whatever. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some people they think it's not fair if they compete, regular shows. It's
Right.
not calling natural show.
Right.
To them, that it's not fair because they know some people taking stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But I was telling them, you always compete with yourself.
Hmm.
You want to challenge yourself. You want to go on stage. Don't worry about others.
Hmm.
See.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Because a lot of I have to say, I mean, there's a lot of drug-free guys who have a chip on their shoulder, right?
Mhm.
With the natty thing, that's like a big thing for them.
Yeah.
I'm natty. Oh, these guys are on gear. Maybe they like judge the guys, like they're on gear, whatever. Like I worked hard for this. Like, but it's like, no, everybody works hard. I mean, you're on gear. I think you work hard. You work probably harder. I'd say
Even
it, but
harder. Yeah.
I mean, because you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
So,
Yeah.
but if that's the choice you want to make, then that's cool.
But at the
Whatever.
same time, if you know you're competing against unnatural people, I mean, that's you're signing up for this.
Well, that's right. And everybody, most people know already. Come on. I mean, you do the NPC, you know what you're heading into. Like,
Yeah.
don't get all upset when you're backstage and it's an NPC show and you're like, whoa, these guys are jacked. And you're like, okay, well, dude,
You could be too.
yeah, whatever. I mean, it happens. It happens. People they get upset. I've seen guys actually get bothered, upset at
Mhm.
shows because they were clean and they were like upset. Well, these guys are all juiced out, and I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, literally, I'm like, yeah, and they're looking like all frustrated. I'm like, what's up, bro? Like, why'd you do this show then? Like, because I know one guy who had competed in drug-free shows,
Mhm.
and he did a couple, and he actually won a couple of them,
Mm.
and he did an NPC open show bodybuilding,
Mm.
and he was pissed off. He was back there, and he was like, "Oh, he's like, I'm not even gonna make the top three or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, bro. Like, I was like, why are you upset? Like, this is what people do. Don't get mad. This is the game.
Yeah, this is the game.
And so, it is what it is. I mean, so yeah. Anyway, right on, man. Well, great having you on.
Thank you.
I know I'll be seeing you in here
Yeah.
hitting it. You guys hit it hard all the time. You and your workout buddies.
Yeah.
You tend to, I know you do have a lot of different workout partners. He comes in with different partners a
Yeah.
Yeah,
lot, so
I see.
Yeah.
keeps it fresh.
I mean, you've been in the industry so long. I mean, there's so much knowledge that you can help with these, new people getting in the game.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's good that you're out there helping them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see your training style. It's pretty simple, very
Mm.
basic,
Basic.
kind of like old school, I want to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
You keep it simple. The
Mhm.
movements are all pretty simple stuff
Yeah.
that you do. You're not
Mhm.
doing some crazy fancy stuff, I noticed. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
That makes
Thank you.
sense. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
any last messages that you'd like to give our NPC competitors out there before we wrap it up today?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would just say if you want to compete, just go on stage, have fun. Like I always said, you only compete with against yourself, not no one else. So
Hmm.
yeah. Other
Poke
than
hard, poke hard. What about poke?
um, I don't know.
Because
That's
you get
not
that a
pro
lot,
card.
right? I'm trying
Yeah,
to get that pro card. What do I got to
that's
do?
not the goal.
Yeah.
I've told them that's not destination. Pro
Uh-huh.
card's not your
Okay.
goal.
See, that's it right there.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it.
yeah.
Just train,
Just
enjoy it,
train.
enjoy the process,
Yeah,
and if you
yeah,
love it enough, you'll get there.
yeah.
If you work
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Love the process. Yeah.
Yep. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining
Oh yeah.
us.
Thank you guys. So,
Right on, dude. Thanks, brother.
thank
Thanks for coming
you.
on. Yep.
All
All right,
right.
guys. Thanks for joining us,
Mhm.
and we'll see you next time on Paradise Pump.